Have you ever stopped to think about how an egg, that simple, fragile-looking thing, might be one of nature's most incredible inventions? We see eggs every day. Maybe you had one for breakfast this morning. But behind that thin shell lies one of the greatest miracles of evolution, a self-contained world designed to protect, feed, and grow life. And what's even crazier? Every animal does it differently. From birds that lay eggs tougher than concrete to fish that carry their eggs in their mouths, and even creatures that use poison to protect them, today, we're diving deep into the wildest, weirdest, and most unbelievable secrets about eggs in the animal kingdom. Let's start with something familiar, the chicken egg. It looks simple, right? But a single chicken egg has over 17,000 tiny pores on its shell. Each one allows oxygen to flow in and carbon dioxide to flow out, keeping the chick alive. And yet, if the egg gets too much oxygen, the chick dies. So nature designed the shell to be just porous enough. It's like a natural smart home, perfectly ventilated, temperature controlled, and self-sustaining. Now, here's something that'll blow your mind: the color of an egg isn't random. Some birds lay bright blue or green eggs, while others lay speckled brown ones. Scientists believe these colors evolved as camouflage. A blue egg blends with the light filtering through tree leaves, while brown speckles hide them in dirt or sand. But there's another theory: the colors might actually reflect the mother's health. Healthier females lay more vibrant eggs. In a way, the egg is like a beauty signal, nature's own little flex. But let's leave the backyard for a second. Travel deep into the ocean, and you'll find eggs that look like they came from another planet. The mystic sea butterfly, a type of tiny snail, lays transparent, jelly-like eggs that float in midwater. Each one looks like a delicate crystal ball, drifting in the deep blue. If sunlight hits them just right, they shimmer almost like underwater stars. Speaking of alien-looking eggs, let's talk about sharks. Yep, sharks lay eggs too. But not all of them. Some give birth to live pups, while others use something called a mermaid's purse, a tough, leathery case that protects the embryo. You might have seen one washed up on the beach without realizing what it was. These egg cases often have curly tendrils that anchor them to rocks or seaweed, keeping them from drifting away. Inside, the baby shark grows for months, feeding on a yolk sac until it's ready to swim free, a perfect little predator, born from what looks like a black leather pouch. Now, imagine an egg so strong it can survive being dropped from a cliff. That's exactly what some seabirds, like guillemots, evolved. They lay their eggs on narrow, rocky ledges, no nests, no safety nets. But their eggs are shaped like spinning tops, pointed on one end and rounded on the other. If one starts to roll, it doesn't fall off. It just spins in a circle, staying in place. Nature literally engineered a self-stabilizing egg. And then there are animals that don't lay eggs in the open at all. The Suriname toad takes parental care to a new, slightly disturbing level. The female's back becomes soft and sponge-like. When the male fertilizes the eggs, he pushes them into her skin, yes, into her skin. The eggs grow right there, under the surface, until one day tiny baby toads burst out of her back like something out of a science fiction movie. Creepy? Maybe. But it's also one of the most efficient protection systems in the animal world. Some animals, though, take protection even further. The African mouthbrooder fish literally carries her eggs, and later, her babies, inside her mouth. She doesn't eat for weeks, guarding her offspring from danger. And when a threat appears, the tiny fish dart back into her mouth for safety. Imagine that, your home and your mother's mouth being the same place. But eggs aren't just about protection, they're about survival strategy. The Australian frog called the gastric brooding frog had one of the most bizarre life cycles ever discovered. After swallowing her fertilized eggs, the mother stopped her stomach from producing acid. The babies grew inside her, and when they were ready, she vomited them out, fully formed frogs hopping away into the rainforest. Sadly, this frog went extinct before scientists could fully study it, but it remains one of the strangest examples of parental care in history. And what about reptiles? Crocodiles, turtles, and lizards all lay eggs, but they have one thing in common: they never sit on them. Instead, they rely on nature's heat. Crocodiles bury their eggs under piles of rotting vegetation, which warms up as it decomposes. But here's the crazy part: the temperature inside the nest determines whether the baby will be male or female. Too warm, and they're mostly female. A few degrees cooler, and they're male. It's nature's thermostat for gender, and scientists still don't fully understand how it works. If we travel even farther back in time, we find dinosaurs, the original egg layers. Fossilized dinosaur eggs show that some species built organized nests and guarded them, much like birds do today. Others buried their eggs like crocodiles. Some eggs were as big as basketballs, while others were smaller than a chicken's. And those perfectly preserved fossils tell us one incredible thing: the structure of dinosaur eggshells is almost identical to modern bird eggs. Which means when you see a robin's egg today, you're looking at a 100-million-year-old design that's barely changed. Evolution got it right the first time. But not all eggs are fragile. The ostrich lays the largest egg on Earth, weighing up to 3 pounds, with a shell so strong it can support the weight of a grown man. And yet, the ostrich doesn't sit on it gently, it stands guard and rotates it carefully, making sure the embryo develops evenly. The smallest bird egg, on the other hand, belongs to the bee hummingbird of Cuba. It's barely bigger than a pea. To think that two creatures so different share the same fundamental blueprint, a yolk, a membrane, a shell, it's almost poetic. Now, here's something you probably didn't know. The platypus, that weird mix between a duck, a beaver, and an otter, also lays eggs. It's one of only 2 mammals on Earth that do. The platypus egg is soft and leathery, more like a reptile's than a bird's. The mother curls around it, using her body heat to incubate it until it hatches. When the baby is born, it's blind, hairless, and helpless, but within days, it starts nursing from milk that seeps through the mother's skin. No nipples. Just milk oozing through pores. Nature really said, let's get creative with this one. And speaking of creativity, some animals don't even need a mate to lay eggs. Female Komodo dragons have been known to reproduce through a process called parthenogenesis, which means they can fertilize their own eggs. In isolated situations, where no males are around, a female can literally clone herself. It's nature's ultimate backup plan. Even insects have their own egg-based superpowers. The wasp lays its eggs inside living hosts, often caterpillars. The larvae feed from the inside, slowly taking over until they emerge. It sounds horrifying, but it's part of a delicate ecological balance that's been fine-tuned for millions of years. Meanwhile, the butterfly carefully selects only one specific plant for her eggs because the caterpillars will only eat that one kind of leaf. She doesn't just lay eggs randomly. It's precise, calculated, almost intelligent. And then we have the emperor penguin, whose life revolves around a single egg. The female lays one, then hands it off to the male before heading to the ocean to feed. For months, the male balances it on his feet, keeping it warm under a flap of skin through brutal Antarctic storms. He doesn't eat, doesn't move far, just waits through 70-mile-per-hour winds and -60-degree cold. When the chick finally hatches, the mother returns with food from the sea, and the parents take turns keeping it alive. All for one egg. One tiny spark of life. It's almost poetic to think that the same simple shape, an egg, can hold the story of so many different lives. It's nature's universal symbol of beginnings. From the depths of the ocean to the icy poles, from prehistoric dinosaurs to modern birds, eggs have carried life through every era of Earth's history. They're the reason we're here. Every creature you've ever seen, including you, started as an egg cell. A fragile bubble of potential that turned into something extraordinary. So next time you crack an egg, maybe you'll see more than just breakfast. Maybe you'll see one of the most perfect designs nature ever made, a tiny, oval-shaped miracle that's been hatching life for over 300 million years.